Airstrikes pounded Gaza while the militant Islamic Jihad group fired hundreds of rockets into Israel as a cross-border clash continued into a second day, killing at least 6 people, including 4 children. Good morning, I'm Chitrakar, and these are the headlines of the hour. Parties of the ruling coalition discuss on allocation of seats. Deep discussions held on 3 different proposals. CPN UML adopts strategy to retrieve cadres that had left the party. Large dairy industries face scarcity of milk due to dominance of small dairies. Dairy Development Corporation, unable to produce sufficient dairy products, faces challenges of increasing production to meet demands. UN's nuclear watchdog calls for an immediate end to any military action near Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant, warns of a very real risk of a nuclear disaster. And Chelsea get off to a perfect Premier League start with victory over Everton as Jorginho's penalty decided a scrappy contest. With the announcement of the date for provincial and parliamentary elections to be held on 20th of November, parties of the ruling coalition have started putting forth various proposals for poll partnership. The ruling coalition parties seem to be near consensus regarding allocation of election areas. The first meeting of the parties of the ruling coalition after the announcement of the election date decided to contest the upcoming elections with poll partnership. They formed a work team to decide on the distribution of seats by 23rd of August. Various options have come in front of the work team. The first option is to allocate the election areas to the parties that were victorious in the previous elections 5 years ago and distribute the remaining areas according to votes received. The option does not seem to benefit Nepali Congress as many of its leaders were defeated in the previous election due to poll collaboration among the communist parties. If consensus is not reached on the first option, the second option is for Nepali Congress to gather seats in its favor from the 165 seats for the House of Representatives from direct election and 330 seats from provincial election, and other parties distribute the remaining seats by reaching a consensus. CPN Mao Centre, CPN Unified Socialist and Janata Samajwadi Party have not given interest to this proposal by Nepali Congress. They are of the opinion to distribute seats party-wise. The third option for the ruling coalition parties is to distribute the election areas according to the votes received in the election 5 years ago and the recently held local level elections. Although discussions will be held on various options in front of the ruling coalition partners, reaching a consensus on the distribution of seats is likely to be difficult. At a time when the ruling coalition is preparing for poll partnership, the main opposition, CPN UML, has adopted strategy to retrieve cadres that had left the party. Addressing a program organized at the party office in Chiasal, Lalitpur yesterday, CPN UML chairperson KP Sharma Oli urged the leaders and cadres that had separated from the party to return. Condemning CPN Mao Centre chairperson Pushpa Kamal Dahal and CPN Unified Socialist chairperson Madhav Kumar Nepal, Oli said that the leftist leaders contributed in the formation of the Nepali Congress-led government. Chairperson Oli further claimed that CPN UML will win in the upcoming elections with majority votes. The citizenship bill that has already been passed by both the cabinets of the federal parliament has failed to be implemented amid lack of certification from the president. Failure to implement the act that ensures citizenship by descent to those who have acquired citizenship by birth has prevented many individuals who have reached the eligible age group from casting their votes. As per the statistics of the Ministry of Home Affairs, there are 190,000 individuals in 49 districts that had acquired citizenship by birth. The children of those citizens are eligible to acquire citizenship by descent. 23,430 individuals are awaiting their citizenship by birth in Jhapa alone, which is the highest number. Meanwhile, not a single person has received such citizenship in other districts, including Dailek and Jajarkot. The Ministry of Home Affairs has prepared to provide the citizenships instantly after the bill gets certified from the President. The bill that was passed by the House of Representatives on 22nd of July and a National Assembly on 28th has already been presented to the President. Rise in the water level in the Saptakoshi river because of heavy rainfall in eastern hilly districts has still not reduced. The water flow from Koshi barrage was recorded 225,000 cusac at 5 a.m. today. 32 out of 56 gates of the barrage have been opened. An unusual rise in water level in Saptakoshi river has been recorded since yesterday morning. Meanwhile, the administration has urged the local residents of settlements near the river to remain alert. An additional 2,500 households in Belaka municipality of Udaipur and Baraha Kshetra municipality of Sunsari are at risk of inundation as the river has changed its course due to the rise in water level. Belaka Municipality Chief Ashok Karki informed that rescue, relief and relocation works are underway. District Hospital Dhading has started providing dialysis service. Dhading Hospital has started operating for hemodialysis equipment with the support of Bagmati Provincial Government. With the availability of hemodialysis service, those with kidney ailments in Dhading do not have to hustle seeking proper treatment. The medical superintendent of the hospital, Madhukar Dahal, informed that 4 patients can be provided dialysis service at once in 3 shifts per day as it takes around 4 hours for adequate delivery of dialysis. The Chief Minister of Bagmati Province, Rajendra Prasad Pandey, inaugurated the dialysis service in the hospital. Nepali dairy farmers in the past had protested by spilling milk on the streets during the coronavirus pandemic, citing lack of market for dairy products. The Minister for Agriculture had faced a difficulty in market management for milk produced across the country. A contrasting scenario is being witnessed in recent times. Despite an annual increase of production by 5%, large dairy industries have failed to receive raw milk as per the requirement. Dairy factories across the country as well as in the capital have not been operating in full capacity since mid-March this year. The scenario has been attributed to small dairies that have started taking large quantities of raw milk produced by the farmers. Private sector aside, the situation of state-owned Dairy Development Corporation is similar. The corporation that used to process 1,000 litres of milk now processes only 70,000 litres. The corporation has been unable to produce sufficient ghee and yogurt amid the nearing festivals in the country. Production of milk generally decreases from mid-February till mid-June. However, traders say that the problem has been prompted as the government 3 years ago had announced that the country was self-sufficient in milk production and prohibited its import. Experts, however, attribute the scenario to the increase in consumption. They further suggest to encourage the farmers to increase production. According to the Department of Livestock, 6.2 million litres of milk is being produced on a daily basis. Despite the per-person requirement of 92 litres of milk annually, only 82 litres is available. The need for commercial animal husbandry has increased amid the increasing demand and consumption of dairy products. Time now for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question: why is there scarcity of milk in dairy industries? Your options are A, increasing dominance of small dairies, B, decrease in production, and C, halt in import. Voting is on. Tap any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked people in several provinces regarding what needs to be done to increase the capacity of government institutions. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
स्किल मैनपावर राख्दिनु पर्यो
बोनसको लोभ नगरिकन यो संस्थालाई कसरी उँभो लाउने भनेर चाहिँ कर्मचारी आफै चिन्तित भएर चाहिँ काम गर्नु पर्यो
क्षमता बोकेको मान्छे चाहिँ त्यहाँ जानु पर्ने
बन्द भएका छन् त्यसमा सरकारले लगानी लगाउनु पर्यो
सरकारी हस्तक्षेप हुनु भएन
जनशक्तिको राम्रो व्यवस्थापन हुनु पर्यो
कर्मचारीहरू एकदमै क्यापेबल नेपाल सरकारको लोकसेवै पास गरेर आएको हुनुपर्छ
योजनाहरू नीतिहरू सही किसिमका परिचालन आवश्यकता अनुसारको हुनु पर्यो
Before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Parties of the ruling coalition discuss on allocation of seats. Deep discussions held on 3 different proposals. CPN UML adopts strategy to retrieve cadres that had left the party. Large dairy industries face scarcity of milk due to dominance of small dairies. Dairy Development Corporation, unable to produce sufficient dairy products, faces challenges of increasing production to meet demands. UN's nuclear watchdog calls for an immediate end to any military action near Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant, warns of a very real risk of a nuclear disaster. And Chelsea get off to a perfect Premier League start with victory over Everton as Jorginho's penalty decided a scrappy contest. That's all for the moment. Our next English bulletin will be at 11 a.m. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.